welcome to another top 10 sort of list where we list the top 5 favorite things that we have favorite things of. In this case, it's going to be 8-bit Nintendo video games. We all grew up in the 1980s, which coming down to it, we loved video games.
Yeah.
And not the first video game console system, but the one that probably had the greatest hold on us.
The first video game I ever played was Pong.
Yeah. Yeah, I had actually a little Pong set myself. With the
Yeah, my mom had one. It was
and then the Atari 2600, which was also pretty freaking awesome. Still have one. Don't know if it works because I don't have a converter box for the connector. But
yeah.
But then I got an 8-bit Nintendo system when I was, I think, 14.
Yeah. 8-bit Nintendo was definitely the first time I can say I felt like a gamer.
Yeah.
Part of that technological wave and that new industry of entertainment.
Yeah, because like the Atari type stuff, they didn't really, the graphics weren't even arcade quality really.
Yeah.
The
difference between home console and arcade was vast at that point. Because direct ports for whatever reason just didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
your number 5 be?
Number 5, Contra. Spent a lot of time playing Contra.
That's a hard fucking game.
It was probably that first game where you could sit down and play with your buddy and just like marathon burn it until you finally won.
Yeah, it was one of the first games that had like a artificial 3D third-person perspective.
Yeah, because there would be the side scroll and then the forward view.
Yeah, going through the bases.
But it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
And the president liked to play with Contra too. Not quite the same thing, but
Yeah, my number 5 is Super Mario Brothers. It's a classic. Spent hours and hours playing it, mostly because it came free with the system.
Yeah.
But there were fun stuff. Like I once, looking for secrets, I once told a kid that he could jump down into the water, and there was this bunch of coins down there, and he jumped down there and died. It was hilarious.
Oh, so you were that kid.
It was a lot of perfect opportunities for assholism. And a lot of secrets. I love trying to find secrets, and this came out in a time when you couldn't look stuff up on the internet. We didn't have the internet.
But I did have a subscription to Nintendo Power.
Yeah. So there
which was
two ways.
The only thing you could really get, tips and tricks and secrets from.
Mm-hmm. Or word of mouth.
Yeah, it was my first highly valued magazine.
Yeah.
I found a cheat by accident once on oh God, the hell was the racing game with the red car?
Red Racer.
Yes. I actually found a secret thing by accident on Rad Racer, just farting around with the controller, not actually doing anything, and then suddenly, it popped. I don't even remember what it was now, but it was cool. I was happy.
Ooh, we got to mention the Contra cheat code that was most famous
for.
Down.
It wasn't Contra.
Well, it was
Konami.
But Contra was the first one where everybody was like, "Hey, you got how to get 30 lives, right?
Yeah.
Up, down, left, right, BA, start."
And sometimes it was like AB start. I mean, they would do little variations once in a while. But if you got a Konami game, that's the code you stuck in to get shit.
And the reason why they put those codes in was for playtesting.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes. But Super Mario Brothers, and I love being Luigi more than I like being Mario.
No, so did I. I actually did. I preferred Luigi myself.
Which is weird because I like red, and I like green, but I guess I like being the oddball guy.
Yeah. Anyway, so number 4. Mine's a little odd, like slightly lesser known amongst the pantheon of games. Silent Service. That was a
submarine simulator.
World War II Pacific sub simulator. And I just spent hours and hours just like hunting down shipping lanes and taking shit out. It was great.
Yeah, I played that first on the Commodore 64.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I actually own the 8-bit Nintendo version of it, and I still have it, but I've got it in a Gyromite case. Because something happened with the Silent Service.
The case broke and
we
fucked Gyromite, so...
Yeah. Which, oddly enough, that's the 8-bit system that I got, was the Rob the Robot.
I remember
set,
that. I was jealous of that. That was cool.
Yeah, 'cause he was great when he worked.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it didn't work too much. But yeah, Silent Service, I spent a lot of time playing it. That was one of the first games we had where we kind of had a co-op version of it, where one person would be like keeping an eye on the radar and the maps and stuff, and the other person would be controlling it and keeping track of things.
Kind of like being the R2 and X-Wing.
Yeah. So yeah, Silent Service, good call. My number 4 is Castlevania. I got it once and wanted to beat it, but you can't save it. So we left it on, and it burnt.
Yes.
It caught on fire.
Yeah.
And
smoking like
we're
hell.
playing, all of a sudden we can smell it.
What the hell's going on? Oh, shit!
And then it went ding! And then, popped it out and took it back. And I think you had a copy of it too.
I did, and I played the shit out of it.
I think we ended up beating it on your copy finally.
Yeah, I only ever managed to beat Dracula one time.
Yeah.
You know, and after that I was like, fuck it, never again.
It was another incredibly hard... one of the things about early video games is...
They were a pain in the ass to win.
There wasn't a whole lot of space, so you had to figure out ways to make the amount of space that you had go on.
Yeah.
And one of those tricks to that was making your games really hard. But yeah, I mean, Castlevania number 3 or number 4 for me.
Yeah, Castlevania, and it was very cool. The Legend of Zelda is my number 3. And again, another game that just hours and hours and hours got dumped into playing that thing.
The absolute shock I felt finding out that you could save games on a cartridge.
Yeah, no, and that was one of the big innovative things.
Passwords, but we had never been able to save.
That was one of the big innovative things about Legend of Zelda. I think that was the first game that you could save your game to the cartridge.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Zelda. We'll talk. I'll gush about it more in a little bit.
Yeah, and the marketing, they made a big deal out of the save games.
Commercial. Zelda. The little curly haired guy.
Yeah. And it was great. I think it was really the first adventure game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was kind of a hybrid adventure role playing game.
Yeah, kind of. Except
there was no experience.
To me, in a role playing game, you develop your character as you go along, and Link didn't really develop all that much. I mean, he got some new gear.
He got more powerful, but
it's But either way around. So, what's your number 3?
My number 3 was Metal Gear. Played a lot of Metal Gear. I love the idea. The stealth stuff, not so much, but the idea of getting the equipment you need to then utilize it to move on to the next area and move on through each areas. Spent a lot of time playing it. It was an adventure game.
Yeah.
A stealth game. And it introduced a lot of concepts that hadn't really been introduced yet. And you could smoke, which was cool.
Yeah.
Because it was the 80s and smoking was still cool.
Yeah. Well, at least it was not a social stigma.
And your name was Snake.
Solid Snake.
And being a fan of the Escape movies.
Oh, yeah.
Really made us appreciate that.
Right.
But yeah, ended up beating that with Jason Jacobson when I was like 16 or 17. So.
For some reason I never really got into it. I played it a couple of times at Dan's, but
Dan was super into it too.
He was nuts about it. And then years later when they came out with Metal Gear Solid, he lost his fucking mind.
Yeah. Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
On the PS1.
Right on. So number two?
Number deuce.
Number two, Metroid. Metroid was so much fun. Again, another game there's just hours and hours and hours of grinding your way through. And then to find out that Samus is a chick was like a jaw-dropping stunner. That was like just a fucking punch in the gut. Really? A girl? Cool.
How can you tell?
That's awesome.
Maybe it's just a guy with long blonde hair.
Yeah, because he plays in a hairband.
Yeah, I love Metroid. It's on. It just barely did not make this list. This list was hard because there were so many games to put on this list.
Yeah, and to get to pick only 5 out of all of them.
Yeah,
because Castlevania, I really wanted to. Excite Bike was a lot of fun. There's just a ton of stuff for the 8-bit games. The Dragon Warrior.
Yeah. Oh God, Dragon Warrior, man. Walking around that town just trying to find monsters to fight so you can get up in levels.
Yeah.
Oh. That grind.
Yeah.
Also on my short list.
Learn grinding. Yeah. So your number 2?
My number 2 was Final Fantasy. Speaking of running around, and grinding your way up the levels so you can actually beat the enemies that you need to go and fight. This was a very hardcore role-playing game. One of the first JRPGs out there.
Yeah, and it led the way for a lot of role-playing games that came afterwards. I mean, it was the template for a long time, and still kind of is today.
Yeah, and they still innovate, and they still push that envelope as far as, once again, the JRPG genre, where you pop into battle and fight each other. And, the Japanese have a very styled role-playing game system. I love this game. This is one of those games that I skip school to play. This is one of those. It's like I would stay up all night and be like, I won that battle. It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
Fuck 'em, I'm sick.
You're
sick, all right.
I love Final Fantasy. And then the sequels, they each got better and better. 7, oddly enough, is as good and touted of a game as it was. Is not one of my favorite.
Really?
No. Oh. And we could talk about this on a different episode, but the level design for it felt very stunted. Because they
kind of restrictive.
Yeah, they wanted to use that hand drawn backgrounds, so everything had to fit in this area. And it was hard to figure out how to get out of areas. But yeah, for the most part, the Final Fantasy series has been great for me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So number 1, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I spent so much time grinding through that game. I was stuck on Soda Popinski for like 4 months till I finally got his fucking timing down. I finally worked the guy out, and it finally took care of. And then the next dude, God damn it, now I can't remember his name. Got through him in like three attempts. It was weird. I never beat Tyson.
I beat him.
I know
remember
you
when
did.
I beat him?
Yes. Yeah, it was the apartment on Pleasant Street, and you were losing your fucking mind when I came over. You're like, I beat Tyson. I did it. I finally beat
lost my shit.
And I was impressed because that guy, man, just to survive the first round with Mike Tyson was like stunning because he just come out whap 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 whap, and if you did not have absolutely perfect timing for dodging out of the way, because you got about 3 punches and your scrawny ass was done.
It was
not a lot of forewarning. You had to be lightning quick, and oh god, it was just a horrible grinder.
I had to fight him like 900 times in a row before I finally got him beat. Oh, and it felt so good. It felt so good to beat him.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of the things of the 8-bit games. They were so hard that there was a real sense of accomplishment when you beat them.
Yeah, they were hard, but they were beatable. You know? And it wasn't just a matter of like having the content to make it hard to get to the end.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
about
but like so many games these days are like 8 hours and done.
yeah. It's one of the reasons why I'm interested in Bloodborne, because while it looks really hard, that's something that's been kind of missing from this.
Yeah.
They've kind of dumbed everything down to make
Well,
things.
and it's why I like
accessible.
Bethesda's stuff. It's Elder Scrolls and Fallout. I mean, you can spend hundreds of hours playing either of those games. I really feel like I get my money's worth out of them. So you're number one.
My number one is one that we've already talked about. I told you I was going to talk about it later because I gushed about this game so much and I love it so much and I love the whole series, and it's The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I even love Adventures of Link, is how much I love this series. This Zelda games are so good, and that very first game, like I said, the ability to save and to go on that adventure and just be able to go back into that adventure without all the bullshit was so fundamentally awesome.
Yeah.
And this game is, I mean, you talk about secrets, you're talking about advancing your character, you're talking about getting the stuff that you need to get to the next stage.
Yeah.
Just cool enemies, cool character design.
Yeah.
I love The Legend of Zelda.
It's consistently solid games.
And the only time that it kind of got out is the early 3D because they wanted to do jumping puzzles. And I hate jumping puzzles in the artificial 3D environment because it's so hard to get your timing done right.
Yeah.
That those ones kind of fell short for me.
Yeah. Was that like N64?
Yeah, the N64, the Ocarina of Time, specifically, which is still a great game. Don't send me hate mail.
Well, right.
I still
Actually,
like
send him
the
hate
game.
mail. Some response would be all right.
Yeah,
you can deal with it.
It's cool. But yeah, I mean that 3D environment really kind of, it was difficult to get used to at first, and I don't think they knew how to utilize it properly in the early stages.
Yeah. Well, it's a developing technology.
But I really love the 2D top-down Zelda games.
Yeah.
Even up to the Game Boy games. But this one here, the very first Zelda, took so much of my time to play.
Yeah,
and
it's got a special place in your heart. And it was a gold cartridge.
But they did that thing where you beat it, and then they make it harder and move everything out for the second time.
Yeah.
So it's like you get the game twice.
Yeah. You definitely got your money's worth when you got games back then. Of course, you didn't spend nearly as much as you do now.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're out of time, so that's about the end of it. Although, speaking of the codes to get to levels, did you know that one of the codes in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was Becky Baker's phone number?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's just weird. The first time I realized, I was like, no, I already know that number. Cool, okay. We can deal with that.
This code memorized.
But anyway, so we're done for now, and we'll see you guys next time on Top 10 Sorta.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Later.